Hey, what up, everybody? Back at it again. This live is a little later than usual live streams. And I had a real busy day today, so I had to schedule a little later than expected. So I don't know who's all gonna come out tonight, but I'm here. But especially those listening to this on a replay, this is definitely for y'all. Yeah, I hope everybody having a good one. I hope everybody been having a good one. 1 second, y'all. All right, I'm back at it again. Yes, sir. You know what's up, Brown Do Life, late night streams. Yes, indeed. Don't see how many people come in the building, or like I said, I mean, definitely gonna be people listening to this on the replay. So either way, we good. Either way, thanks for stopping by the way, Brown Do Life. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been this is one of those scheduled lives, and I had an unscheduled live that I was going to do, but I realized there's so much to the live stream that I was planning on doing that I had to reschedule it. And yes, it was the live stream about female Black Knights. And we're going to talk about that in the next live stream coming up. It's going to be tomorrow based on the date of this live stream. Let me plug in my headset. Y'all know how to, you know how I do. Got to plug in that headset right quick. Hey, yo, what up? Huh. Still, I'm actually trying to find a better microphone to get out here. So I'm kind of working on that right now. Oh my goodness, I'm kind of excuse me, it's crazy. You gotta do all this stretching and stuff. It's sitting down for so long. And I sit down for a living, meaning that I drive a lot for a living. So it's kind of like one of them things where I had to kind of work things out here. But let me kind of get to some of my talking points here with this live stream for y'all, since we on the late night tip here. Yeah, man, this stretching ain't no joke. I tell y'all, if you can, if for anybody that's new to YouTube trying to do uploads, try your best not to sit down. Look in the comment section, and you'll see some video. You'll see some links to some videos that I did before. Yeah, there's some links to some videos that I did that already talked about manipulation. So all this is doing really more or less is just kind of like those links kind of reinforce this live stream. So because basically I won't be covering everything in this live stream in regards to manipulation. I want everybody to check out those links in the comment section, even those in the chat. If you haven't seen my manipulation videos, check those out when you get a chance. Yes. So yeah, for those in the chat, check out those manipulation videos once this live stream is over with. Whenever you get a chance, you ain't got to check out them videos right after this live stream is over with, unless you want to do that. Yeah, if you want to do that, that's cool. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, just when you get a chance, check them out. But let's get right into this talking point about manipulation, shall we? Let me make sure other things are up to par here before we get to that. We got to make sure all these devices are working properly. You gotta love it. Oh, you gotta love it. Oh, you gotta love it. Let me get this here. All right, so here's my thing, y'all, and I've talked about this before, and it was in regards to tricking. Okay, in regards to tricking, tricking is not mode 1. Tricking is indirect approach, and I mentioned that. So what does this have to do with tonight's topic? Well, I just wanted to say that tricking is definitely a form of manipulation. That's why I mentioned tricking tonight. It is a form of manipulation. You're manipulating a female's attraction, or you could be manipulating a woman's attraction, depending on either or. Because she wasn't attracted to that guy at first. But now it takes him tricking in order to get her attracted. He had to trick her feelings by showing off a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? He had to do that to get her to be like to get his attention. Yeah, to get his attention, he had a trick. He had to get that money up. So um he had to manipulate her feelings in many ways, because originally she probably didn't like him like that. So that's why I say tricking is a form of manipulation. Um, but yeah, mode one to me isn't time consuming. It's based on primal instincts and behaviors. Very direct approach. There's no manipulation, I think, with mode one, because it's based on those primal instincts. It's based on those primal instincts, this primal attraction, basically taking something in face value. So to me, manipulation is not about taking on something face value. You know what I'm saying? You had to manipulate the value of it, right? So that gives you an idea of like when she's manipulating, because she's now not looking at a guy for his true face value. She's looking at him based on the way he manipulated his value before her. But to a woman, you know, oh, I see. Oh, for hire. Oh, hey, I've been trying to reach you. Hey, if you don't mind, go in my about section. Email me. It's good to see you up in the building, by the way, for hire. Hopefully I've said your name proper. But yeah, hit me up in the email. Go in my about section and email me when you get a chance. I wanted to reach you, share with you some information, if you don't mind. But yeah, it's very good to see you up in the building for hire. And thank you so much. I try my best. I'm trying to be different than everybody else out here in these streets, just I gotta, if I'm a lone wolf, if I do my thing, I gotta stand out from the rest, from everybody else. I gotta do my own thing, you know what I mean? So I appreciate that for hire. I try my best, Um, but yeah, getting back to this manipulation, but how is hammering a form of manipulation? Well, because you gotta think, you gotta like use brute force to take a nail and drive it inside of an object that has not had penetration. It's not even like just penetration. You manipulated that surface, you manipulated that object with a hammer. Okay. So that's the manipulation there. And so I think about, in regards to an individual, when you talk about this idea of, of how you hammer something, right? And so you probably heard of this cliche. The cliche was hammering the point home. Sorry about that, y'all. Somebody just started up the vehicle. Hopefully y'all can still hear me pretty well. But yeah, there's this idea of hammering the point home. That's a form of manipulation socially. It can be that way because you're probably around someone that's a little bit adamant about certain things they want to tell you, but it's not motivational. They're just constantly repeating the same things to you to hammer their point home. Yes, that's what it really means, to hammer your point home. You constantly repeating things to a person. But in essence, that's no different than hammering, because hammering what? Hammering is repetitious. You know what I'm saying? You got a boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? It's a repetitious thing. So when you're hammering a point home to somebody from that standpoint of manipulation, you're just constantly being repetitious as far as how you're communicating with a person, how you're trying to stress things to them. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like uh just from that standpoint of manipulation I wanted to talk about that I didn't mention previously in my previous videos. Um Now let's talk about element versus comfort zone, because this also represents a form of manipulation. Okay. Now, um, now element. Okay. You know, when you talk to somebody and they might feel uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? They might say that you're taking them out of their element, or they might be uh from the standpoint of saying that I'm in my element, you know, I'm in my comfort zone. Now, element and comfort zone, there really isn't like a contrast. There's not too much of a contrast. One second, y'all. Okay, I'm back. I had to let the motorcycle pass a little bit. Um, I hope that I still sound okay, Brown Do Life. I hope I still sound okay. But yeah, you know, hammering a point home, you know, I just mentioned that. And now we're talking about this element versus comfort zone. Now, you know, upon just looking up some things, I mean, I would say that element is no different than comfort zone, but however, there could be a slight difference. Okay, cool, Brown Do Life. I'm glad that I still sound okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, now element can mean a lot of things. You know, for the most part, when you think of element, you think of element in regards to chemical element or just simply element. Element kind of represents like you know, something that cannot be like you know, decomposed any further. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty much in its purest form. You know what I'm saying? You have to make a new type of a compound, because that's kind of what it's like in chemistry. You know, you have elements and you have compounds. These compounds are the combinations of these elements, hence the chemistry of these elements. The compound represents the chemistry of these elements. Okay. So and how do we do this? Like, this is all part of the manipulation, because you're manipulating different elements. So you have an individual who may feel like they're in their element. They probably don't want things to be compounded upon them, because they know there might not be any chemistry with that. Or let's say if it's an individual, they feel like they don't have any chemistry with you. So I don't want you to compound things upon me. I like where I'm at. I like the element that I'm in. I don't want to feel manipulated. So it's just that in a nutshell. So basically this is the comfort zone. So I guess yes, there is sort of a compare contrast, because basically one's comfort zone is basically represented as one's place of being. Like, you know, you're in your element, you're cool where you are. That's your comfort zone. You want to be in your element. You don't want things compounded. You don't want to know that, hey, I'm going to have bad chemistry with somebody. I kind of like the way things are. I want to stay in my element. I want to stay in my purest substance. So I guess yes, if just to kind of rephrase, element versus comfort zone really is this: the element is comfortable in its state. You know, it's comfortable in its state. So you have a person who feels comfortable the way they are. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about trying to get people out of their comfort zones, to a certain extent, that can be a form of manipulation. See, I do things different, since yours truly doesn't believe in manipulation. I want one to come towards me. I don't want to feel like I'm taking someone out of their element, you know, because that's their comfort zone. You know, I always believe, especially with the feminine gender, it has to be her willingness. It definitely has to be her willingness. You know, I wanted to do like a display for y'all because I wanted y'all to actually see what I'm looking up. But at the same time, y'all can do this too. I mean, I'm just going through Google. You know, I got a live stream coming up where I'm going to be doing a lot more presentations. But I just wanted to kind of see how this was going here, you know, in regards to just chopping it up with y'all, you know, as far as me looking up all this stuff about uh this manipulation. So we're on comfort zones. Yeah, but what I'm looking up right now just says comfort zone. Uh a comfort zone is like a psychological state in which things feel similar to a person and they are at ease and perceive they are in control of their environment, experiencing low levels of anxiety and stress. In this zone, a steady level of performance is possible, you know? And so basically that's what the comfort zone is. It's the state, you know, this familiarity. Okay. So this is where you feel like you're in your element. This familiarity. Now I feel that a lot of what people call their element is very unnatural. A lot of people don't know who they are and where they're supposed to be at in life. So a lot of people don't know who they are. A lot of people aren't in their pure element. A lot of people aren't pure, right? There's a lot of impurities. A lot of people need to be purified, you know? But this represents something further that I wanted to explain about, which represents what I called instead of manipulation is molding. Okay. So that's what this is all about. When you have to purify something, that's actually an act of molding, you know. So but manipulation, it doesn't necessarily represent this act of obviously molding. Manipulation and molding are two different things. So just keep in mind that with all this said that I'm putting together for y'all, because I'm just getting started basically. We 21 minutes in the live, and like I usually like to say, you know, get your popcorn out, get your nachos, get your hot dogs, and get your soda. And I'm finna sip on mine right quick too while we at it, right? Y'all hear it. Popped it open. Hopefully the bubbles don't come up to the top. Give me a second, y'all. Ooh, excuse me. Now I can't tell you what soda it is because I ain't getting paid for this. So yeah, but we gonna get right into this even more because we just getting started. Okay, so I kind of broke down element and comfort zone, and if anybody got any questions, even those listening to this on the replay, just let me know in the comment section below. Anybody else new here that is stopping by in the chat, got any questions, let me know. Okay, now I wanted to talk about, like I said, I've kind of went over this idea of manipulation sort of, and I brought up new ideas of the manipulation. You know, I brought up different aspects of it, you know, as far as the element, you know, and what element really means. You know, I brought up the true definition of what element actually means, which most people probably have never heard before until now. But now let's talk about when men or women are not manipulated, because that's something I haven't touched on too much in my previous videos. I don't think I've talked a lot about how men get manipulated. It's been more so based on the feminine gender, how they get manipulated. But this is all kind of going to tie in slowly but surely. So y'all finna see how this is about to kind of unravel. Okay. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right, all right. You know, so when men and women aren't manipulated, okay? Now, this is how it goes, okay? Now, I said, you know, I don't manipulate women, okay? I like to mold. women. I don't manipulate women. And so with men it's different. With men it's different now. Men also can get manipulated, you know, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about that here shortly. So bear with me, y'all. Um, but men, the opposite of manipulation for a man is this, you know, given that I just said the opposite of manipulation for a woman is her being molded. The opposite of manipulation for a man is getting chiseled. Okay, because men are different. Men are rigid, robust, you know, built more like a fortress. Whereas, you know, with a woman, she's built, she's sculpted. She's not really built, she's sculpted. You know, this idea of being molded, you know, but men are different in regards to, you know, this idea of a man being chiseled. This usually starts at an early age, and depending on how he lives his life, how it all starts at an early age, a lot of that can affect the way the man lives the rest of his life, the way he was kind of chiseled at a young age. See, what's beautiful about things being molded and sculpted versus things being chiseled is that you can always redo most of the molding process. You can make things a little curvier, right? You can add a little more to the curves, to the sculpture, you know, with the way you like the potter's wheel, you know, you being a potter, okay? You could kind of redo some of your mess up with certain potteries. Whereas with something that's chiseled, you know, when you chisel something, you can't quite do that. You know, you can't quite redo that. You know what I'm saying? It's you can't redo something that's been chiseled. You're just going to make it worse. I mean, think about what happened with the sphinxes, you know, the sphinxes in Egypt and the pyramids, and even some of the pyramids in South America. You know, when those got chiseled, if they had a slight imperfection, there was no going back. You had to make it into something else altogether, or it was just considered a disaster of a project, you know. But you couldn't redo the chisel. Once something is chiseled, it's chiseled. So that's the way a man is in regards to the opposite of him being manipulated. He's chiseled, but it's this idea that with a man, upon him being chiseled, you better know what you're doing. Just like it was with Mountain Rushmore and the Crazy Horse Memorial. When those things got chiseled, they were precise. You know, you got to know what you're doing when you're chiseling. So with men, I think it's very important, especially with little boys when they're growing up. The way that they're chiseled at a young age is going to affect the rest of his life. Even if he turns out to be a positive person, there could be some slight imperfections to his chisel from an early age. You know what I'm saying? There could be some slight imperfections of his chisel from an early age. Now, sometimes you get incomplete projects in regards to men, and that's the only exception. You may have men who kind of had an early stage of development and they were chiseled and it was precise, but the project didn't get complete. You know, there's certain parts they're missing. And I think that's cool, you know, because that means that young man still wants to learn. He still wants someone to chisel him properly. Whereas you may have guys who went through most of the chiseling process, but they weren't chiseled properly, or they weren't brought up as men properly. So that's going to affect him for the rest of his life in some way, shape, or form going forward. And we see this all the time. So I think in essence, what happens with guys that get chiseled, and we consider that the opposite of manipulation. Well, if the chisel wasn't as precise as it needed to be, that's manipulation too. Because that means that whoever was raising up that guy, they didn't raise him up properly. So whoever was chiseling that stone didn't chisel that stone properly. And maybe it was all by design. Maybe it was all intended. It was all intended. That's what I meant to say. My bad. It was all intended. But this all this still nevertheless represents some form of manipulation in some way, shape, or form. Keep that in mind, y'all. That's if the man wasn't chiseled properly. Oh man, I think there's 12 coming. Normally I put it on pause for y'all, but y'all, oh, never mind. They going by pretty quick. Look like they're going by like almost 100 miles an hour. All 12, oh 12. You actually got pulled over. I got pulled over by 12 earlier. Long story, but I did my thing, y'all. Don't worry. I was good. Oh, wow. I don't know what noise I just heard. It sounded like a coyote. I kid you not. What is that noise, y'all? This is crazy. Gotta love it. But no, nevertheless, I was saying, no, I was good. Nothing happened to me. You know what I'm saying? I just complied, I guess, to the police, and he we kind of had our little discussion, and I drove off, went on my merry way. So don't worry, y'all, I'm good. Don't have to worry about me having problems with the police. Now let's get back into this topic about the chiseling, and I told y'all how like incorrect chiseling also represents a form of manipulation, even though a man's supposed to be chiseled properly initially. Now, let's say if a woman isn't molded properly, well, that can be a form of manipulation too. But usually, like I said, with the mold, you can redo the mold, but you can't redo the chisel. So you can remold a woman if she's willing, but you can't rechisel a man. It's very difficult. You know what I'm saying? Even when he's willing, he's just going to still have certain flaws. And we see this all the time. We see a lot of guys that, despite all the supervision and all the intervention, he might still not be like the complete man that he should have been. Okay, so let's talk about this. Here's what I want to go into next. Okay, let's say something is built, or let's say something is sculpted. But what happens if it was just immediately destroyed? This all represents manipulation, right? Something that's quickly molded or sculpted, but then it's quickly destroyed. That quickly destroyed part, keep that in mind. That's manipulation. To quickly destroy something that was molded or sculpted. And I think when people are in those situations of where they've been around people who've had a certain people who've had a certain influence on them, they've been around these type of people, and then these same people turn around and they just basically backstab them. Yo, it has this type of effect. Here's what I mean. It has like a wrecking ball type of an effect, because you think about it, something that was built or chiseled or molded, you can quickly destroy it with a wrecking ball, right? You can quickly destroy it with a wrecking ball. Or what else can quickly destroy something that is quickly what else can quickly destroy something that is built or molded? Dynamite. Yep, get some TNT. Yeah, get some TNT. That's all you do. So it's either a wrecking ball or some dynamite. And that's how you can quickly destroy something that was molded or that was chiseled. And that's like I said, that's another form of manipulation. Even though it had good intention, but somebody was lying, somebody wasn't being honest. People can lie about their true intent. Some people can try to come off as if they're not trying to manipulate you, but all along they are. I guess the only way to really know that someone is honest is just to see their true intent as time goes on. We all have to put our trust in somebody, and it takes time to have trust, but you just hope that the person you put your trust in is honest with you. See, let me put that up on the screen for y'all. Boom. You see a little ball there, you light it up and then you explode it. Uh-huh. So yeah, it's either the wrecking ball or it's the dynamite that could quickly destroy something. Oh, what Brown Do Life said. Okay. Some famous people forget about their people who helped them to success. Oh yeah, Brown do life. That's true. You know, that's definitely another form of manipulation altogether, because manipulation isn't just one-sided. We like to think oftentimes that manipulation is one-sided. You know, this and so that's why you see a lot of people play victim. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what Farhaya said. Uh yep, they'll say, I built you, hence destroy you. Weird mindset. Exactly, Farhaya. Exactly. Yep. So these same people who think they built you or molded you or chiseled you, they also feel like they can destroy you. They also feel like they got the wrecking ball or they got the dynamite. You know what I'm saying? And it is sad. It's weird. Yeah. But with what you saying, Brown do life, I think people who to be honest with you, like I think that type of manipulation is more of like a I don't even know. I'll have to look that up, probably bring it up down the road. Cause it's more or less you're manipulating the molder. You're manipulating your supporters, you know. The people that are helping you are not manipulating you, but you're manipulating them and supporting you. People do this all the time. I see this a lot. That's the only way I can actually explain what you just said. That's a good analysis, Brown do life. And yes, for hire, that was a good analysis that you had as well. Let me see something. Now, let's talk about this, because I brought up about the wrecking ball and we talked about the dynamite or the TNT. Okay. Let's see what else. Brown do life just said something else. Let's see what you said here. You said like Lil Uzi Vert. Yeah. I don't know too much about his background, but I guess yeah, I didn't know that he forgot about his people. I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. Wow. Um okay, let's talk about developing matter. Okay, developing matter. Developing matter, as a matter of fact, developing matter. Now what do I mean by developing matter? Matter is like materials, or it's like molecules or particles. We getting into this chemistry still. We still talking about chemistry, the periodic tables and all that stuff. Now when I say developing matter, this means like you're developing substance with an individual. Okay, so how does this relate to when she's manipulated? Okay, because I'm trying to still tie in everything with the title of this live stream. And excuse me, y'all, 1 second here. Yeah, there must be some type of wreck down the street, y'all. Okay, but yeah, developing substance with an individual. Now, sticking with the title of this live stream, when she's manipulated, you got to think like that means an individual was not trying to develop substance with her. Okay. So over time, she really doesn't even understand what substance is, even if someone brings it to her attention, because she's actually been used to people manipulating her, getting her to think that she was developing substance, thinking she was developing matter. No, when it was all said and done, the person just asked her, what's the matter? What do you mean, what's the matter? What matter do we have? We don't have anything that matters. That is matter. Nothing matters. We have nothing to represent matter. And as a matter of fact, it's hard for her to understand what really matters, literally, like the matter the molecules, this substance. It's hard for her to determine and understand that as time goes on. That's why I talk about this idea of molding her going forward. She has to want to be willing to understand these things going forward, given that she really, no one showed her what is true substance, what is true matter. She's been around people that have manipulated her. Okay. Yeah, she's been around people that have manipulated her. So let's talk about this mold a little bit more. Okay. Let me get another check on this soda, y'all. Woo. Excuse me. Okay, all right, so let's talk about mode versus fitting the mode. Because I think in regards to the feminine gender, there's two ways that I think she must be dealt with in a good way, not in a bad way. When I say dealt with, I mean like a good deal. You know what I mean? And so, ladies, check this out. Check this out, especially for hire. Check this out. You know, spell deal backwards. Spell it backwards. You know, what is deal spelled backwards? If you haven't figured it out, I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna do it for you. What is deal spelled backwards? For all the ladies in the chat and those listening to this on the replay. Deal or lead. So that's the thing, ladies. When a man is molding you versus him manipulating you, it should actually be like a good deal the way he deals with you. You know what I'm saying? He wants to build with you because you want to build with him, and it's all working together. So I said in the previous video to the fellas, if she's not trying to build with you, don't let her deal with you. But ladies, it's vice versa. There you go, for hire. Exactly. Yep, you came up with it too. That's cool. Yes. And actually, yeah, that's what's up. Yep, that's it. Yep. So when it's a good deal, you know what I mean? It's automatically it's going to benefit everybody, and he's going to be a good leader towards her. A deal should represent in a lead. You know what I'm saying? A deal should result in a lead for a man around a woman. You know what I'm saying? You can tell when the deal isn't good if he's not really leading the woman that's in his life, you know? So that's the thing. So with all that said, let's get off into this now. You know, now molding, I mentioned like you know, that's just like sculpting the pot, you know, and I mentioned that in these in my manipulation videos about how the sculpting of the pot takes place. Now, you can sculpt the pot, you know, basically you make the mold, or you can have some type of liquid, you can have it fit the mold. So that's what I mean by mold versus fit the mold. And that's two ways the feminine gender should be in a man's life. Either she's being molded or she fits the mold that he has for her. But it all represents in a deal, a good deal, which, you know, it's reflective of the way he's leading her. You know, and of course, she's willing and she wants him to be that type of man in her life. You know, she don't want to follow her. She wants a man that's going to lead her. Okay. Now let's talk about remixing. Let's talk about remixing, because this is also having to do with when she's manipulating. Okay, this all has to do with it. You know, let me see. Let's just kind of let's touch up on this idea of remix, because you hear about remix from songs, but we not talking about remixing songs. We're not talking about that. We're talking about like in regards to remixing concrete and things like that. Now, The only thing I could think of is well, not necessarily concrete, but like ready mix cement. And from what I'm gathering, like, you know, with remix cement or remix by mortar, you know, the main thing from a lot of this is, let me see something. I don't know why it's slow right now. It's a little slow. I think it's like from what I'm seeing is just more or less like it's like a general purpose concrete suitable for concrete bases, garages, shed floors, post erection, uh, yeah, no pun intended, walkways, steps, patio, backfill, infill. You know, remix cement is in a general purpose bagged cement that is so that's really what I want y'all to think about. General purpose, that's kind of what they mean by the whole remixed aspect of things. So how does this tie in with this idea of manipulation, or when she's manipulated? Because really remixing actually represents uh the molding aspect of things. So it's when I talk about remixed concrete, how it has a general purpose, it kind of, in my mindset, it ties in with this idea of the way her substance is. She can kind of be multi-purpose in a man's life. She can have a general purpose in a man's life in regards to just she has a lot of things she can do for this man in her life. He doesn't have her stagnant. He gives her things to do. You know, he wants her to be involved in his life. So just like you see with remix concrete, there's a lot of different purposes for that concrete, that cement. And so in regards to the way a man is molding a woman, or he's having her to fit the mold, he's having different usages for her. You know, he's utilizing her in different ways. And you know, and this is great because that's what she wants to be. She wants to be a helpmeet in this man's life. Okay. And so once again, that represents a good deal. It represents a lead. As for higher, you know, she was able to let y'all know, you know. So just keep that in mind, because this is what it represents. Because the opposite of that obviously is not a good deal. You know, manipulation doesn't represent a good deal. It represents what someone is trying to get out of it. You know, that's not a deal to me. That is not a deal. That's being a thief. That's being a thief. What someone can get out of it. When a thief is stealing something, they're trying to get something out of that store. They're trying to get something out of that parlor. They're trying to get something out of that hotel. Okay? That's not a deal. That's really a thief. So that's the thing. When a woman is manipulated, she's dealing with a thief. Yes, she's dealing with someone that wants to be a thief. When she's dealing with someone that's manipulating her, when she's dealing with a man that wants to mold her, she's dealing with someone that truly wants to lead her, someone that wants to deal with her. Literally, lead, deal. Keep that in mind. Now let's talk about building versus rebuild, okay? Because that sort of represents when a woman is not manipulated, okay? Uh, you know, and some guys, they're kind of, I've heard in these spaces, they don't like this idea of a build a chick. You know, I don't want to have to build no chick. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to build no chick. You know, she need to become the way she is. But we live in a society, fellas, you know, we gotta be realistic, fellas. We gotta be realistic. We gotta be realistic, y'all. Just get around a feminine gender that wants to learn from you. Like she wants to, and what I mean by learn, so ladies, y'all don't take no offense. She just wants to learn how to be like the type of woman you want her to be. Not that she needs to learn how to be a woman, but I guess that's true for some too. But no, I'm just saying she wants to learn how to be a certain way in a man's life. You know what I'm saying? She wants to learn how to be in your life a certain way. So you can show her, you know, if you into your masculinity, you really a man, you know, and you a man about your word and about your business, you gonna let her know, hey baby, I want you to do this, I want you to do this, you know, and I like it when you do that. I like it when you say this. I like it when you show me that. You know what I'm saying? Just little things like that. That represents part of this building or rebuilding, because some of the feminine gender really don't know how to be a woman around a man. But for the ones that want to learn, that's a bonus. Okay. Now the rebuild could be maybe she didn't know how to be around a man properly because she probably wasn't around a man. She was around someone that wasn't even proper, but she's willing to learn. Once again, it goes back to this willingness. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way this could take place. So the build and the rebuild are very similar. You know, the build more or less is just representing a lot of things she still has to learn, and she's willing to learn that around the right man, versus the rebuild represents things that she has to unlearn. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff she knew that she thought she knew about being around a man, she knows she has to get that rewired. She needs a reboot, but she's willing to be rebooted. That's the thing, fellas. Keep the word willingness in mind. I'm going to keep trying to tell y'all that for the longest. She has to be willing. So if she's not willing, let her be. You know, don't try to stress your points and go back and forth with her, trying to argue and, you know, trying to get her to listen to what you have to say. She's obviously not listening to what you have to say. So just, okay, she's not willing. Let it be. Just let it be. Now, to me, a lot of guys have become doms. They've become doms of manipulating instead of masters of molding. And a lot of gals, per se, have become manipulated. They've become very manipulative due to them being more masculine. You know what I'm saying? There's only a few of the feminine gender that represents real womanhood. The rest are just typical females, okay? As I've always said. Because of them, you know, like I said, they're being more masculine while still trying to appear feminine. You know, they'll try to appear feminine. Now she has the balls, you know, and she uses a wrecking ball. Keep in mind, wrecking ball, okay? She got a wrecking ball too. Mm-hmm. She's not feminine at all to me. No, she's not. She's a feminist in disguise. To females like that, you may fool everybody else, but you ain't fooling me. Nah. And I'm only calling you sweetie. You know what I'm saying? The only reason why I would even call you sweetie is, or sweetheart. The only reason why I would call you those things is because I'm actually, I'm sugarcoating you. Yes, I'm actually giving you some sugarcoat. And this is what I mean. The ladies that I continuously say sweetie to, it's because they're continuously sweet. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So if there's ladies like that in my life, I continuously say sweetie to, that's because she's continuously sweet, versus someone out the blue who ain't as sweet to me. I may say sweetie just to kind of sugarcoat. Okay. But the ladies that are continuously sweet, their sweetness endures, unlike yours. Sorry. Got to speak light on a bittersweet switch. I just got to speak light on a bittersweet situation whenever conflicts happen. Not to say I have any personal conflicts or anything like that. So don't try to grab no receipts. But I'm just saying, you know, I sugarcoat. That's where the sugarcoating comes from. Because, you know, I see that there may be a feminine gender who ain't as feminine. She being more masculine. So I'm going to call you sweetie, though you're very bittersweet. And I'm just being very lighthearted about the situation. So yes, that's the sugarcoating part. But overall, fellas, you get in a situation like that, you got to stay on the high road. Yes, you do. You got to stay on the high road, indeed. And, you know, don't let a chick like that get to you. You know they're bitter BS when you've detected it just by putting some sugar on her and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, talk to her still nice, be calm and cool, and just keep walking away from her, you know. Just If you got a blocker, blocker. It depends on her harassment after you decided to keep it moving. You know what I mean? But yeah, this means you won't be going back to her restaurant again because you see she got a bitter taste. She's bittersweet. She ain't that sweet. You know, to me, the feminine gender should never, and I repeat, never be bittersweet towards a man. No, she should never be bittersweet. You know, like the cliche goes, she should only be sugar and spice and everything nice. Otherwise, throw her out like stale rice. Let me see. Farhaya said something here. Uh Maybe they act masculine as a defense mechanism. Some men just automatically you have to respect or follow. Oh yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely. I agree with that wholeheartedly for hire. You know, and you would think like, here in this Western society, just this act of recognizing, and I really hate to use the word act. I just can't think of nothing else at the time, but just recognizing masculinity is it's like a lost art. Even like you get around a feminine gender that they hear a man's deep voice. Some of them don't like men with deep voices like mine. It's oh my goodness, I had a father already. I had a father. I don't need you to try to act like my daddy. You know what I'm saying? They'll say stuff like that, that they don't want a man to come off like a father. It's like I'm not trying to be a father, I'm just being a man. Hopefully your father was a good man himself, but I don't know. But yeah, you got a good point for hire. You got a very good point. Uh But yeah, I mean, like the cliche goes, the feminine gender should only be sugar and spice and everything nice. Otherwise, throw her out like stale rice. Speaking of spice, when she's seasoned, you don't even have to season her. No, you don't even have to season her, you know, when she's seasoned, you know, meaning that she's seen some things, you know, she's seen some things, so she's seasoned, you know. So that's really what I mean by seasoned. So maybe that's a good definition that y'all can probably tell somebody, like, what do you mean by seasoned? Just say, hey, I've seen some things. That's what I mean by seasoned, but yeah, when she's seasoned, you don't have to season her, fellas, or at least she wants you to season her. So you don't have to season her upon you tasting her and she didn't taste good, or her seasoning wasn't to your liking. A woman wants to be to your liking. A typical female throws off your taste buds. Yes, a typical female will make you want to puke. You put her lack of femininity on your taste buds and you're gonna be like, ugh. 1 second, y'all. Let me get another H2O check. 1 second. Yeah, but I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Most definitely. We almost wrapping it up here. Not all the way. I still got a few more minutes, but I definitely appreciate everybody coming out. Let me see. Farhaya said, LOL, I'm the opposite. I'm looking for masculinity. Most definitely. Much love to you for that, Farhaya. For sure. We need more of that. We definitely need more of that. You know what I'm saying? Because the masculine always wants to be around the feminine. That'll never change. It's been going on since the beginning of time. No matter how some people want to try to manipulate things. you know? Yes, indeed. But yeah, most females that are not feminine like that, most females would rather be broken apart than put together or fixed. Ironically, they'll never acknowledge that. They'll just say there's nothing wrong with them. And everybody else around them will be so convinced, unfortunately, depending on who they've brainwashed, who they've manipulated mentally. Basically, she's manipulated all of them. Or you know what? Birds of a feather flock together, and they're just all a manipulating group that she supports. And yet, she'll never support you, brother. Nah, she'll never support you. And wow, just think all this time, she never supported you. Yet, she had you believing that she did this whole time until you found out otherwise. Until you found out otherwise. See, that was her manipulation for you. You thought she supported you this whole time. She didn't. Nope. Now, I know a lot of people have heard about this idea of pair bonds in this space. You know, we've heard people say like, "Oh, she can't pair." But see, I'm a little different. You know what I'm saying? I actually don't believe in pair bonds, since to me, bonding is a form of manipulation. And check out why I think that, you know, when y'all get a chance to check out those videos in the comment section below that I did previously talking about manipulation. But, you know, I see bonding as a form of manipulation. Thus, there's a lot of trauma bonds out there. There's not really this idea of a pair bond to me. No, there's more of a trauma bond. Okay. Because when you really get a pair, that's because y'all got good chemistry. Going back to what I said earlier, if you heard some of the things I've said earlier already within this live stream. But no, there's a lot of trauma bonds out there, and they are bondages. Yes, they are bondage. They are bondages. They're bondage. And guess what? That requires a lot of bandages. That requires a lot of bandages. A bandage is not a repair, though, nor does it represent healing. I want people to understand that when you get a Band-Aid put on you, that doesn't mean that you're repaired. It doesn't mean that you're healing. What that Band-Aid is doing is it's just preventing things from getting worse. And sometimes Band-Aids aren't even enough. So keep that in mind after someone has manipulated somebody and they try to put a Band-Aid on them, right? Or he tries to put a Band-Aid on her after he's abused her, whether physically, mentally, spiritually, or emotionally. Trying to give her a hug, or he wants to have makeup sex, trying to put a Band-Aid on her so that things don't get worse. But I'm like, what do you fear? Why do you fear? You're the one that abused her. Oh, you fear that she might have some type of revenge on you. I get it. Yeah. Now, you have some masculine females that are like that too. They abuse guys and they try to use Me Too to their advantage, to where they hope a guy doesn't come back and have revenge. And if he does, well, since he's a guy, he could get quickly put in jail. She'll find a way to ghost him after she's manipulating him in hopes that the little Band-Aid that she provided per se was just this idea of the fact that she's silent and he'll never hear from her again. But see, that's part of the hurt that she's putting him, given how she manipulated him. So now he's got to heal this Band-Aid. In this case, with what this female did with this guy, we're gonna call it the silent Band-Aid. But it's painful. It stings. You know, it stings this wound that she put on him. Now, just wrapping up the rest of this live, but I just want to say, like, just as I said before when I got started, for those that are just tuning in, and, you know, for those currently in the chat, given the date of this live, you know, and I just keep saying this, but yeah, check out all them videos in the comment section below. Man, y'all gonna love them. Y'all gonna love them. I hope y'all, you know, I hope y'all love them videos, because it'll tie in everything I've been saying about this whole idea of manipulation and how she's manipulated, how she gets manipulated. You know, there's so many ways of putting this, but I think, you know, the point of this live stream was just to bring up a few other extra points that I wasn't able to get across, and maybe some situational talking points that I wanted to bring up in regards to manipulation. I wanted to kind of touch upon these things. Hopefully my voice has some clarity. I know there was some technical difficulties earlier in this live stream, but you know, I'm still here. Everybody's still here. Everybody still gave me some feedback. I appreciate you stopping by for hire. Brown Do Life, you always been faithful. Thanks for stopping by once again. Uh, you know, anybody got any questions before I give my closing statements? Uh, you know, feel free. I'll probably just start doing my closing statement now, but if anybody still got any questions or any thoughts, opinions, agreements, disagreements, whatever, just leave them in the leave them in the chat section right now while I do my closing statements. But you know, I just think, like, when we think about the way this world is, and we think about how complex we've made this world. But see, it's really how complex and how we've manipulated this world, even how we try to manipulate this earth. But this earth still tries to find ways to heal itself, because if a lot of manipulative people weren't living on this planet, this earth would heal itself. The ecosystem, the vegetation, the ocean, the aquatic and marine life, everything would heal itself if half of the manipulative people that live in this world did not exist. This world would be so much better without the manipulation that currently resides here. It should not coexist with us, in my humblest of opinion. But hopefully this live made sense to some. Maybe this live did not make sense to others, but to the others that this live made some sense to, feel free to hit that like button, especially those listening to this on the replay. If this is your first time coming to this channel and you happen to like this type of content as well as my live streams, well, feel free to subscribe, share this live, and other content of mine on this channel. You need to reach me, go in my about section. I got all my information there. I got a lot of other platforms that I'm on. And if you want to tip sometimes, feel free to do that too. Yeah, feel free to do that too. No obligation, just appreciation. That's all. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that you get all of my uploads in real time. And no matter what it looks like out there, y'all, it's only getting better from here. Much love to y'all, and thanks for stopping by. And until next time, signing out.